and welcome to today's episode of Welcome to Scan. I'm your host, Tracy Wolfman. I'm the owner and administrator of We Care Adult Care located in Middletown. SCAN stands for Social Communities Activities Network, and this TV series provides important information for active adults. My special guest on our show today for our first segment is Ted Freidli. So thank you for joining me today, Ted.
My pleasure. Great to be here, Tracy.
Ted is the owner and Chief Vacation Officer of XL Travel, which I love that title that you created for yourself. XL Travel is located in Long Branch, New Jersey, right? You've been there for 23 years.
Right.
Doing amazing vacations for people, which is totally wonderful. Your community involvement, Ted, is endless in the community because everywhere I see you doing good deeds and participating in anything anybody needs you for. So that is a really nice dedication. Paul Harris Fellow with the Greater Long Branch Rodeo, which is a distinguished level for you to be in.
Right. That's the Rotary Club.
That's the Rotary Club, yep. And founder of Kick Cancer Overboard.
Yep.
And the recipient of many local and community awards. And I have here, Ted has won the Best of Monmouth for travel.
Yep, from the readers of the Asbury Park Press.
And there was nothing that you asked anybody to vote for, so you got it just by all the good service that you do.
Yeah, this took us by surprise because in 23 years, I'm proud to say we've never asked for a testimonial, we've never asked for a referral, we've never asked for anybody to vote for us. So this came organically, and we did not expect this, but we're happy and humbled by it.
That is so wonderful and well-deserved.
Thank you.
So that's a little bit about our guest here today, Ted, which that's totally wonderful to have somebody with your skill and expertise and community involvement to help us go on our next vacation,
Thank
right?
you. It's my pleasure to be here.
So what are you going to tell us about the travel agency and how you have survived and continue to serve the community?
Right, and I'm really here not on behalf of just my own agency, but more so on behalf of all the brick and mortar, old-fashioned, traditional travel agencies, because there's so many myths about us. And what's interesting is the fact that for the last 4 years, we've gained market share back from the Expedias of the world. So actually the trend has shifted where everybody used to run online. When my wife and I, we purchased an existing travel agency 23 years ago, and then a couple of months later, Expedia came out. Another couple of months later, Delta Airlines started cutting commission to travel agencies and airline tickets.
And that's what made it so hard to stay in business.
Exactly. Kind of weeded out the ones that maybe shouldn't have been in business to begin with. And then for that reason, too, another month later, Connie Chung came on TV 2020 and said, this is the death of all travel agencies.
Oh, no.
So my wife and I, we looked at each other like, what the heck did we just get ourselves into? But we were able, we have both had a lot of experience at that time already, so we were able to stay the course. And I don't know where Connie Chung is these days, but I know we're still here.
You want to, yes, and that's a wonderful thing. One of the things, Ted, that's so important for you to relay your message today is because SCAN really message goes out to the active senior community.
Right.
And we want them to be able to travel safe. We want them to have somebody they can trust on. And I think all of us can say that we can trust Ted. He's been around a long time in his attire that you will always see him in, your uniform. When people want to book these trips, whether it be a cruise or a hotel, how do you pick the best one for them?
Well, that's a difficult challenge.
I'm sure it is.
You know, people talk to 20 different people to get 20 different opinions.
Right.
And then who do they believe? What do they believe? And that's honestly how we sometimes get up as customers when they walk into the agency and they say, I'm so confused. I've been online for 5 hours. The price keeps changing. The opinions that I'm getting from people, I don't know who to trust, what to believe. And it is all about expectations when it comes to travel. What makes one person happy might not make another person happy.
Absolutely.
And, you know, a lot of people are familiar with TripAdvisor, which is a website, and it's a good website where people write in what they like, what they don't like, but those reviews are not always unbiased. My wife was just at a resort in the Caribbean, and the waitstaff would walk around after dinner and hand out little index cards to their guests saying, if you're not happy, talk to the management. If you are happy, write a positive review on TripAdvisor, bring us the copy and we'll give you a free massage.
Wow,
in a sense, there's probably some really good reviews about this resort because people wanted to get the free massage.
Right.
Now that could be called creative marketing, but when you read the reviews, it might not be as unbiased and objective maybe as some people think it to be. So that's the challenge. And of course, what we always do is with our customers, we call them when they come back from their trips. So we learn from them what they like,
the
what
goods
they don't
and the bad.
like. And just having done this for over 20 years, and everybody in my office has been doing it for over 25 years, we kind of know where the good resorts are. We know who to trust, and there's nothing like having been there, done that. The personal reviews from our customers or from our agents.
Now, do you get to communicate with the resorts? If you have a customer there and they're having some issues, you can intervene on their behalf?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our phone numbers work 24/7. So if there is a problem, and this summer was extreme with 5 hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, wildfires, we had many customers stuck in different places, but help is never more than a phone call away. And it's almost, it builds customer loyalty for us. When people can call us at any time of the day and we're able to help them out, and while it might be their first time that they're stuck in a hurricane, it won't be our first time that we're bailing somebody out, because we know what the airlines can, and sometimes more importantly what the airlines cannot get away with, or what the cruise lines need to do under those circumstances.
Right, so you're their lifelink. And
absolutely.
I think part of the misconception about travel, people don't realize that.
Right.
And I think that message that we need to get out to the community, especially our active seniors who are now traveling more, because that's what we do. We retire to travel, yes?
Absolutely.
Or we hope so anyway.
Yeah, sure. It's on top of the list of everybody's wish list.
Right, they're going to retire so they can travel. And I think getting that message is so important, and that's why I'm so happy that you're here today to get that message across. When is the best time to book a vacation or flight to get the lowest prices? Now, people always ask this question, but I mean, they used to say book your vacation on Tuesday because it's cheaper. Is that really true?
Well, let's say today is Friday.
Right.
We're waiting until Tuesday. What guarantee do we have that on Tuesday that flight is not sold out?
Right.
So yes, the price might be a little bit lower, possibly, but somebody else might book it up between now and then. So generally speaking, if you know a price is historically low, book it, don't wait. The airline tickets are a gamble. They go up, they go down. If you can fly to Las Vegas for under $300 and it's the exact times that you want, it's the exact dates that you want, why wait? Because by waiting, generally speaking, the price goes up as the plane fills up. An easier trick would be when you're booking a reservation, let's say for a flight, 5 people going to Las Vegas.
Okay.
Don't book 5 at a time, book 1 at a time. Because if you book 5 tickets at a time, you'll get the lowest price that's available for all 5 tickets, same price. So let's say 5 at $500.
Okay.
If you book 1 ticket at a time, you might get 1 ticket for $350, 1 ticket for $400, 1 ticket for $450, and 2 for $500. It just saved you a couple of $100 by booking 1 ticket at a time as opposed to 5 at a time.
Wow, that's
so
very interesting. That's
tricks,
the tip of the day.
That we know. Or if you're going for a long weekend, don't go Thursday to Sunday like everybody else, taking off Thursday and Friday. Go Saturday to Tuesday, take off Monday and Tuesday. In travel, you get the best deals if you do what nobody else is doing, because it's all based on supply and demand. So just think in those terms to get a good price. What is everybody else doing? And then maybe do something else.
That is wonderful information. I hope all of our viewers appreciate all those helpful tips we're having here today.
There's many more where that came from.
Okay.
Our challenge is that people think they can get better prices online. And that's why I appreciate this opportunity to kind of say it's just not the case. But I don't want people to take my word for it. As a matter of fact, I started with a $100 bill 20 years ago.
I saw that.
This offer still holds true. If anybody can find a survey that confirms that you can get better prices online when you book your vacation packages or cruises, I'll pay $100 to that person. I'm looking on a weekly basis, and I've never found a survey that confirms that. But what happens is when people Google Expedia, and when I say Expedia, I mean Travelzoo,
any of those sites,
Orbitz, Hotwire, Trivago, whatever. When you Google, let's say Expedia versus travel agency prices, you'll find surveys that have been done by ABC News, Money Magazine, Forbes, all different Wall Street Journal that confirm that yes, there's a reason that 70% of vacations are still booked through old-fashioned travel agencies, because we can, first of all, get the same prices that you can get online. But we might tell you, rather than getting the price on Expedia, why not pay $30 more and now get a cabin that's not above the nightclub on the ship? So you can actually sleep at night.
Exactly.
So finding cheap that's always easy. Finding a good value, that's a lot more difficult for anything we do. And I can always find a cheaper pair of shoes online. Doesn't mean it's a better value.
Absolutely.
And what people don't always understand, and that's our fault as a travel agent industry, we're not there educating people. As a consumer, you are paying for the services of a travel agency, whether you use a travel agency or not. We get paid a commission if we book Expedia as a travel agency, usually between 4 and 8%.
Okay.
So now if a consumer, let's say they do all their own work, put in all their own time, do their own research, they're booking at Expedia, Expedia is not going to give them the money that they would normally pay a travel agency. So the consumer doing that is making Expedia richer. More importantly, they're denying themselves the services of a professional who truly has their experience or their requirements at heart, truly their best interest in mind. And then, God forbid, if they're stuck somewhere, it's difficult to call the gnome or anyone.
There's nobody there to help them.
Exactly, there's nobody there to help them.
So they're just paying Expedia or any one of those sites for
richer.
nothing.
They're making those websites richer. They're doing all their own work. And also, when you're walking into a travel agency, and the travel agency is helping you out, let's say we suggest a cruise or whatever it is, or a 10-day trip all over Italy with everything lined out, trips to the vineyard and so on. Before you pay money, you can say no, basically. I mean, you know, if I do that and somebody's not happy with what we present to them, they can walk away from it, so there's no risk involved. I think that's the point I'm trying to get across. Why not get a second opinion from an expert, because it doesn't cost you anything.
Correct.
Or have them do something from the very beginning, and if you're not happy with it, well then find somebody else. Sometimes that is our challenge. Anybody can be a travel agent.
Right.
So the industry is very deregulated. So there's some people out there that maybe should not book a safari because they don't know what kind of shots you need. They don't know what kind of visas you need. But then it's up to, like anything, when you're dealing with a professional, do some research and deal with somebody who's experienced.
Right, and then if they don't like their first option that you gave them, you are creative enough to be able to change their options and change their what's going to satisfy them.
Absolutely.
And they will not get that when they go online to...
Sure, I think in 23 years of doing this, I don't think anybody's ever accepted the first option. It's an option that we start with, and then they come back to us and say, well, I like it, but this hotel I don't like, and here's why. It doesn't have a health cup, I need a health cup. Whatever it is, and then it goes back and forth, and we'll adjust it. But the advantage is that if you go online right now and you would put in, let's say you Google Mexico vacations, you get 2.5 million responses. We can narrow it down to 2 or 3 options based on what you're presenting to us and say, okay, here's where we would suggest you and your family go because it's family oriented and it's on the beach or whatever.
Right.
And then it's up to you to say, yeah, I like option 1, but what else can you show us? And we'll go back and forth until we find the perfect vacation.
Now, I had my own experience with your travel agent when I went on the trip of a lifetime with my nieces. And had it not been for your office communicating, because when we left and landed, we didn't know we were not going to make our next flight.
Right.
And everything was taken care of, a place to stay. I mean, to have that experience for me, which I had not used your travel agent before. So no, I'm a firm believer too.
Well, thank you.
And a preacher too, hopefully, are active seniors, so they are protected as well. I had one more question. How long have you had that $100 bill now?
23 years, 22 years, ever since Expedia first came out. It's not a real $100 bill, by the way. So nobody come down
okay, I was going to say.
No, it's a photocopy.
Okay.
But the one I would hand out would be the real bill.
Right.
So absolutely, and yes.
So I think just getting back to some of this. So sometimes seniors will be out and they'll be at a fair or something and they pick up a travel brochure.
Right.
You know, and they promise you a lot of things.
Right.
However, when people book them, they don't know how reliable they are.
Right.
So what is your take on brochures that are left out and promises of great destinations?
It's advertising. It
Right.
sums it up. It's advertising. And it's important to know how to use the terms. A direct flight is not a non-stop flight. It just is the same flight number all the way through. Ocean view doesn't mean you're on the ocean. You might be miles away from the ocean. You can see it on the balcony 6 miles in the distance somewhere.
Right.
So that's kind of where we come in and make sure that people go with the right expectations. And also, when they book their own vacations, there's a risk involved. Right now, for many countries in Europe, including Caribbean too, passports need to be valid for 3 or 6 months past the return date. Doesn't make sense.
I don't think most people know that.
I know, and there's many other examples like that. But if somebody's going to Italy in December and their passport is valid until January, they'll never leave Newark Airport. And every day people are stuck at Newark Airport because they don't know of that rule. And if we book that for them and we don't tell them, then it's on us. And rightfully so. If they do it themselves online, the airline will just say, well, you didn't read the fine print.
So what is the time frame for passports if you're going? Everyone should know that they should have 6 months.
Ideally 6 months. Some countries it's 3 months. Some countries don't enforce the rule, but ideally a passport should be valid for 6 months past the return date, which is a crazy rule. But
so that is our second tip for our active adults in the community, is to make sure your passport's within 6 months of validation before booking a trip with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want anybody to be stuck at the airport.
Yes. Yeah. We don't want anybody stuck at the airport, because that is not a good thing.
And it can easily be avoided.
Some of the tricks of the trade. So you gave us 2 great insights thus far. Right. Do you have another one to share with our community folks?
Many people book round-trip tickets when it might be less expensive to book 2 one-ways. Possibly even separate airlines, different airlines. And always check some of the smaller airports. Flying down to Florida from Trenton or even Allentown might be a lot less expensive than flying out of Newark or flying out of JFK. Not always. In the travel industry, there's always room for things to change and all of that. But it's always worth it to check all the different options.
So getting in and out of those airports, though, as far as parking, say some of our older active adults, you know, they might have some handicaps, they might have a wheelchair or something. So are all those other airports just as accessible as the main airports would be?
Yes and no. I mean, Trenton is much, much smaller, so don't expect a restaurant there. You can maybe buy a snack or something.
Right.
So it's a lot more convenient because the parking lot is right next to the building, so you can walk. Now, if it rains, it's not covered. So there's some advantages, disadvantages.
Okay,
but it's
depending
not as crowded.
on what the price savings is.
Exactly, yes, absolutely.
And what about the bigger airports, say Philly?
Right.
Okay.
Good option too, absolutely. But you know, it depends on where they live in New Jersey. Philly might be closer and easier and less expensive to fly out of, especially, let's say, during teachers' convention. Right. When everybody in New Jersey is ready to go south somewhere.
Right. So I think these are great tips, and we're going to go to commercial break. I want to thank my special guest, Ted Freidli from Excel Travel. We're going to take a short break here. Welcome to Scan, and we will be back after these brief messages.
So, if you're over 65, like me,
and active and fairly healthy,
being active and healthy alone will not protect you.
Remember, the immune system weakens with age.
And if you're over 65, ask your doctor about your vaccination options.
we want you to be healthy and active.
Okay.
So, Ted, I wanted to today talk about the Scan and Excel Travel that have joined together to do this vacation expo that's going to be held here at Monmouth Mall on February 10th at 11 a.m. to 3 on the lower level. So can you give us a little bit about this travel expo for all our active seniors to participate and learn a great deal?
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity for people to come out and talk directly to the cruise lines, the river cruise lines, the safari outfitters. So rather than talking to a travel agency and taking it from, still an experienced person, they can go directly to the source. They can talk to Disney if they want to talk to Disney directly about their resorts, or Universal, or all of the different vendors. We have 30 vendors
So
there.
the vendors from all of those places will be here to give them all the information and answer the questions that they have concerns and issues about.
Exactly. We have some vendors from the different islands. We have Grand Cayman Islands there, so if somebody wants to talk directly to the people from the Grand Cayman Islands. Like I said, different cruise lines, beaches, sandals will be there. So this way you can hear the information directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
The horse's
and get
mouth.
The experts. Exactly.
So that will be the Scan and Excel Travel Expo located here at Monmouth Mall on February 10th from 11 to 3 in the lower level. And there is a website that you could give us.
Yes, it's njvacationexpo.com.
Okay.
There's no cost to attend, so anybody on a
free
Saturday morning.
And just free information.
No, it's right before Valentine's Day. So what a great opportunity to buy a vacation for your loved one. Take your sweetie to Tahiti.
There you go. Thank you once again, Ted from Excel Travel. And we're going to take a short break right here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks.
So, if you're over 65, like me,
and active and fairly healthy,
Being active and healthy alone will not protect you.
Remember, the immune system weakens with age.
And if you're over 65, ask your doctor about your vaccination options.
we want you to be healthy and active.
Welcome back. I'm here with Pat Bose, the Executive Director of SCAN, and I am happy to have you as my guest on the show today.
Well, I'm excited to have you on this show going forward as the new host
Thank
of
you,
Welcome to
Pat.
SCAN. So welcome. I'm really thrilled that, especially being a board member and a wonderful entrepreneur, that you're able to take this wonderful class to another level. And we have so much going on in 2018, so
Yes,
let me
we
share
do.
that with
We
you.
have a lots going on.
So the new semester will be starting January 8th, and it'll be running until April 6th, I believe. So we have 13 weeks of new types of classes are regular, but also lots of what we call one and done, meaning different topics. And we're talking about astronomy, and we're talking about history, and all of these new topics coming down the pike.
And
in
our
2018.
active seniors are very excited to be participating in these because the classes are filling up now.
They
right?
are. Well, the program will become, yes, they are. And the other stuff that's happening is that the first time we're having our own vacation expo. We're working with Excel Travel.
That is
and
so
We've been
exciting.
trying to do this for a few years, but it'll be on February 10th upstairs in the main lobby of the mall. We have, I think, 30 vendors who will be coming to talk about wonderful travel experiences that people can learn more about and get information. I believe we're giving away a trip.
Where's the
and
trip to?
I think it's Club Med. And
Nice.
so I hope people come and register for that. And then the other is, I do think that we have a local radio show that's going to be broadcasting live from the show. So we're
Very
excited.
exciting.
We're
Very
really
exciting.
exciting.
So the members of SCAN and non-members of SCAN, people in the community,
General public.
can come and learn about all kinds of different trips that they might be able to take and ask the questions that they always wanted to a live person.
Absolutely.
That is just a fabulous opportunity for any of us.
So it's February 10th from 11 to 3 upstairs, and we'll be there in case people want to talk to us too. The other thing that's happening in the winter semester is we're having our first evening classes. First. So people have been asking, because you know that everyone has to work longer than expected.
Yes.
And people say, well, we would love to come to class if it was at night. So we listen to our customer, and I believe starting March 26th, for 6 weeks, we'll have evening classes on Wednesday evenings.
And they'll be held here at SCAN.
They will be. And I know that we're having yoga class, and that's one of our most popular class. And then we'll have, I believe, an art class and a few other informational kinds of opportunities during those sessions.
So it's going to run for the whole 13 weeks, so the classes?
No, it'll only run for 6 weeks to see how it goes, and it'll start
okay.
in March, and then it'll be ending the end of April.
That is just wonderful news, and I guess the response is going to be coming in as good feedback that we're listening to the people that attend SCAN.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. What else is going on at SCAN for the new year?
So again, as you know, we're not only located here at the hub at the Monmouth Mall, we're
Right.
also in Freehold Borough, and our senior center, which is located at the YMCA of Weston Monmouth's Community Center on Center Street, is open every Tuesday from 10 to 2, and that's a traditional center where we serve lunch, and we also have exercise classes, painting classes, so people should kind of stop in and see what we have to offer. And then we will be going back to Ocean County by popular demand. We'll be doing about 6 to 8 lunch and learns in Ocean County in 2018.
Wow. So SCAN, Social Communities Activity Network for Active Adults, is expanding. The demand is there. People have requested these services. Now we have our outreach centers. Any chance of adding more outreach centers?
So yes, we're developing relationships in Kingsburg with the Bayshore Community Center. We might be there quarterly.
Very
We'll be
good.
in Asbury Park with St. Augustine's Church to do some of our SAT programs in the near future.
That is wonderful. And with this, we hope that all of you come out in the community and try out some of our classes here at SCAN. And we would like to thank you for joining us today here at our Social Communities Activities Network for Active Adults. And thank you for being on the show today, Pat.
And thank you
for
for
having me as the host.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to all the great events that are going to be happening in 2018 with expanding our membership and everything that's going on to be successful for our new year.
Thank you.
And wishing everyone a happy holiday and a good 2018.